they can't believe. You talk about cognitive problems? She's got bigger cognitive problems than he has, in my opinion.
There are a lot of words that can be used to describe Nancy Pelosi as one of the worst career politicians to ever live in the United States and maybe the entire world, but if there's one key phrase in particular that perfectly sums her up, it's that she simply cannot be taken seriously. I mean, after all, this is what she did right after Donald Trump gave his State of the Union address back in February of 2020, back when he was still president.
She did. She did.
And according to lamestream media CNN, she felt liberated when she ripped up the copy of his State of the Union address. That should give a clear indication of how biased she is against Trump and all those who support him. But oh my freaking goodness, does she really let loose when Jake Tapper shows this particular clip of Donald Trump while she is with Jake Tapper on air. What you're going to see in this video is a whole lot of misinformation and a whole lot of pure burning hatred from the scummy old lady who does not deserve to be Speaker of the House, and I'm most certainly glad she no longer is. But before we begin, CSO family, please make sure you subscribe, hit the thumbs up button and notification bell, and share this with your friends. The whole world needs to see just how tyrannical Nancy Pelosi has always been. All that out of the way, let's take a look at exactly what she was getting so angry about here.
Why don't they talk about Donald Trump's cognitive problems? Well, Donald Trump talked about that just a second ago, and I want to get your reaction. Let's run that clip.
They laugh at us all over the world. They're laughing at us. And you know what they're really laughing at? Kamala, because they can't believe that she's going to be president. They can't believe. You talk about cognitive problems? She's got bigger cognitive problems than he has, in my opinion.
You know, given what we've seen the past 4 years with Kamala Harris being the border czar and her futile efforts to run for president, I agree with Donald Trump in saying that she probably has more cognitive decline and more cognitive issues in general than Joe Biden himself. And yet when Jake Tapper proceeded to show that footage, this is how Nancy Pelosi reacted.
Donald Trump saying that Kamala Harris has bigger cognitive problems than Joe Biden.
Why would you even cover that? This is a person who's not on the level. He is their nominee for president. He is incompetent. Let's not even talk about the silliness of it all and the weirdness of it all and the assault on women that it is. We're not going to talk issues. Incompetent. The only thing he did as president, when he had the majority, was to pass a bill that gave a tax cut that gave 83 of the benefits to the top 1%, adding $2 trillion to the national debt. The worst job creation record of anybody president since Herbert Hoover.
Because of COVID, yes.
Well, it's not because of COVID. We put $3 trillion into the economy when he was president, working with and the Congress working together. We put $3 trillion into the economy.
Why would you show that clip? That man is incompetent. He wants to give tax cuts to the rich. Nancy Pelosi, go fly a freaking kite, will you? 99% of people who watch CNN nowadays don't even believe a single word that they say. What makes you think that they're gonna believe you? Pelosi claims that the only thing that Donald Trump has done during his presidency was to cut taxes for the rich. Really? Is that really all he's done as President of the United States between 2016 and 2020? Oh boy, do I have a lot of statistics to go through here. Let's first start off with the US national debt according to Investopedia.com. When Donald Trump became president in 2016, the national debt of the USA was at $19 trillion. It increased to $20 trillion in 2017, $21 trillion in 2018, and $22 trillion in 2019. And then there was a staggering growth in 2020 up to $26 trillion, $26.9 trillion to be exact, but we can't really blame Trump for that, can we? I mean, we already know what happened in 2020. I'm just gonna call it the beer virus. But even after all that was over and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris took office, the debt continued to surge rapidly from $26.9 trillion to $28.4 trillion in 2021 to $30.9 trillion in 2022 and $33 trillion in 2023. meaning that aside from the beer virus pandemic in 2020, the national debt of the USA increased so much more rapidly under Biden and Kamala Harris than it ever did under Donald Trump's presidency. And while we're on the topic of statistics, let's also take a look at the gas prices in the USA between the two presidents, shall we? Looking at this graph here, you can see that even between 2006, let's say, and 2014, the gas prices were extremely high, which is mostly Obama's fault. I wonder what party he's part of. But then take a look at the gas prices in this chart between 2016 and 2020. Not once did it ever pass $3 on average per gallon across the USA. But after 2020, when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris took office, in 2021, we see it at $3 on average per gallon. 2022, almost $4 on average per gallon. And that's not even to mention how much cheaper groceries were back when Trump was president, among so many other things. But I also saved one of the most important things for last: the illegal immigration statistics, according to cbp.gov. As you can take a look in the fiscal years of 2017, 18, 19, and 20, in this graph are the total enforcement encounters, ranging between 500,000 and just over 1 million for those 4 different years. But then it more than doubles on average per year in fiscal years of 2021, 22, 23, and 24, even though at the time of me recording this, 2024 has still not concluded. Look at all these numbers combined before you and ask yourself, were things just better when Donald Trump was president of the United States? I most certainly think so. And to those of you who somehow think that Kamala Harris has no power because she's just the vice president, allow me to play you this clip right here. I personally think it says enough, but that's just me.
There's about 5 other major things she's handling, but I've asked her, the VP today, because she's the most qualified person to do it, to lead our efforts with Mexico and the Northern Triangle and the countries that help. We're going to need help in stemming the movement of so many folks stemming the migration to our southern border.
Even after that clip, if you somehow still think that Kamala Harris has no power to control the border after what President Joe Biden said to her, then I simply can't help you. But I think that's going to do it for today's video, and I sincerely hope you enjoyed. Make sure to tell other people about these statistics on this video to prove just how much better things were under Donald Trump. Make sure to subscribe, hit that thumbs up button and notification bell to let you know when we upload new videos. And always remember, CSO family, to keep observing from a common sense perspective.